We love to talk about success, but what really builds greatness is failure. Not the kind you walk away from, the kind that breaks you, exposes you, humbles you, then sharpens you. The world's most iconic entrepreneurs didn't rise because they got lucky. They rose because they got hit hard and got back up smarter. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. Elon Musk nearly went bankrupt. Oprah was told she'd never make it on TV. Each time they were rejected, humiliated, or counted out, they came back stronger and sharper. Because failure doesn't block success, it builds it. In this breakdown, we'll show you brutal failures that forged billion-dollar empires and how the mindset behind each one can change how you see your own setbacks. In 1985, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he co-founded. It was a brutal public rejection. The board lost faith in his leadership, and he was seen as too volatile to run the business. Most people would have disappeared after a hit like that, but Jobs used the setback as fuel. He founded NXT, a new tech company, and bought Pixar, which became a cultural giant. When Apple eventually acquired NXT, Jobs returned stronger, more focused, and more visionary than ever. What followed was Apple's golden era: iMac, iPod, iPhone. Getting fired didn't end his career. It refined it. The lesson: failure isn't final, it's a turning point. What looks like a dead end is often the detour that leads to your greatest work. By 2008, Elon Musk was out of cash, out of options, and nearly out of time. SpaceX had just failed its third rocket launch. Tesla was hemorrhaging money. The global economy had collapsed. Musk had to borrow money to make payroll and admitted he was days away from losing everything. But instead of folding, he doubled down. He funded one last rocket launch, and it worked. NASA signed a $1.6 billion deal with SpaceX. Around the same time, Tesla secured emergency funding. That year almost broke him, but it became the year that saved both companies. Musk didn't survive because of luck. He survived because of relentless, punishing belief. When most people quit, he pushed harder. That mindset didn't just keep the dream alive. It made him one of the most impactful entrepreneurs in history. Oprah Winfrey's first job as a news anchor ended in humiliation. She was fired for being too emotional and unfit for television. They told her she didn't have what it took, but instead of conforming, Oprah leaned into what made her different. She built a career on vulnerability, empathy, and emotional intelligence. Everything they said was a weakness. Her authenticity resonated with millions. The Oprah Winfrey Show became one of the most influential talk shows of all time. She didn't just become a media mogul, she became a global symbol of resilience and truth. The takeaway: being rejected for who you are is painful, but it's also proof you're not meant to fit in. You're meant to stand out. Oprah didn't change to succeed. She succeeded by refusing to change what made her powerful. Jeff Bezos is known for Amazon's success, but behind that success are massive, expensive failures. The Fire Phone flopped. Countless internal projects died without a trace. Amazon has lost billions on ideas that didn't work. But Bezos expects failure. He doesn't fear it. He budgets for it. Because he knows the big wins come from bold risks. Without those bets, there'd be no AWS, no Prime, no Kindle. Bezos once said, "If you're going to take bold bets, they're going to be experiments. And if they're experiments, you don't know ahead of time if they'll work." That mindset is rare and powerful. Failure isn't the cost of success, it's the engine. Bezos didn't get rich by avoiding mistakes. He got rich by failing forward, at scale. Sara Blakely had a product idea, footless pantyhose, that made clothes look better. Simple, smart, but nobody wanted to make it. Manufacturer after manufacturer turned her down. She was too young, had no background in fashion, and no connections. But she kept going. Finally, one factory owner gave her a shot. That product became Spanx, and Blakely became the youngest self-made female billionaire in America. She started with 5,000 Zavalos and no experience, and an endless string of rejections. Her edge wasn't the idea. It was the persistence. She didn't wait for permission. She created her own lane. The truth is, you don't need everyone to believe in your vision. You just need to believe in it long enough for someone else to finally say yes. Before building the most magical brand on earth, Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination. Seriously, he then started a cartoon company that went bankrupt. He had nothing, just debt, drawings, and drive, but he didn't quit. He kept creating, even when it made no sense to keep going. Then came Mickey Mouse. Rejected at first, then beloved worldwide. Disney didn't just build movies or theme parks. He created emotional universes. His failure wasn't a detour, it was his training ground. Rejection forced him to refine his vision, toughen up, and double down on storytelling. People told him he wasn't creative enough. Today, Disney is practically a synonym for imagination. The real magic wasn't in animation. It was in Walt's unshakable belief that impossible dreams start with getting told no. Jack Ma applied for 30 jobs and got rejected from all of them. He even got turned down by KFC. He applied to Harvard 10 times, rejected every time. Most people would have given up. He didn't. Instead, he started a business with no tech background, no investors, and no connections. That business became Alibaba, one of the biggest e-commerce companies in the world. Ma never pretended to be perfect. He leaned into what made him different: storytelling, vision, and grit. His failures were countless, but they became the raw material for success. Ma once said, "If you don't give up, you still have a chance." Rejection didn't stop him, it prepared him. The people who said no didn't see the future he was building. That's the power of resilience without bitterness. Howard Schultz didn't invent coffee, but he saw something others didn't, a way to turn it into an experience. He pitched his vision of a coffee shop inspired by Italian cafes. Investors didn't get it. He was rejected 217 times. That's not a typo, but Schultz kept pitching until someone said yes. Starbucks wasn't built on innovation alone. It was built on persistence. He turned one storefront into a global empire by believing in something others couldn't see. Schultz said rejection only strengthened his conviction. Today, Starbucks has over 30,000 locations worldwide. He wasn't the most brilliant or well-funded. He just refused to quit. The lesson: you don't need the majority to say yes. You just need to outlast the rejections and believe harder than they doubt. Before she became a media powerhouse, Arianna Huffington was just a writer with a manuscript, and no one who wanted it. Her second book was rejected by 36 publishers. That kind of rejection could break anyone, but she kept submitting. Eventually, one publisher said yes. That book launched a career. Later, she co-founded the Huffington Post, revolutionizing online journalism. Even that venture was mocked early on. But Arianna wasn't trying to be liked, she was trying to lead. The truth is, rejection hurts, but it's only final if you stop. Her success came because she kept pushing long after most people would have quit. And her voice, it didn't just get published, it built a platform for millions more. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb on the first try, or the 100th. It took over 10,000 failed prototypes before he got it right. Most people would have walked away. Edison saw every failure as a discovery. "I have not failed," he said. "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset is what made him legendary. He didn't fear failure. He mined it for data. Edison understood that progress looks like chaos until it clicks. Every time something broke, he got closer to the breakthrough. That's how real innovation happens. Not by avoiding mistakes, but by outlasting them. Edison's genius wasn't the invention. It was the stamina. He didn't stop at no. He pushed until the world flipped to yes. The world's greatest entrepreneurs weren't built in comfort. They were forged in failure. Not one of them succeeded on the first try. Not one avoided rejection. But what they did have: grit, vision, and the ability to turn a no into a launchpad. If you've failed, you're in the right place. If you've been rejected, underestimated, or broken down, good. That means you're learning. That means you're becoming. Just like they did. If this hits you where it counts, like, comment, and share this with someone who's in the middle of their fight. And subscribe to Limitless Empire, where we turn setbacks into comebacks and failures into fuel. your story's not over. It's just getting started.